Ever since 2007, Apple has made an iPhone every single year for the last 18 years. So how the flip are we on the iPhone 16? But more interestingly, every year they would just add one to the previous iPhone, but we never got an iPhone 9. Where did it go? Did Apple cancel the iPhone 9 or did they just skip it? This is a story of how Apple screwed up the numbers from the start, created a negative rep with the S models, found themselves in a position where they had to delete the iPhone 9 and realign themselves in 2019. The iPhone numbers were technically screwed all the way from the beginning. A lot of people don't know that there was actually never an official iPhone 2. The sequel to the first ever iPhone was actually the iPhone 3G. It made sense because back then, internet on computers was dummy slow and was even worse on mobile phones. So when 3G technology came out, everyone was so hyped because it was a significant upgrade in internet speed. Apple, understanding how naming conventions impacts the marketing of their products, decided to name their second iPhone the iPhone 3G. And what do you know? Everyone was raving about its internet speed. So they doubled down, and the next year they released their third iPhone, the iPhone 3GS. They didn't want people to think that their next iPhone didn't have 3G if it was just called the iPhone 3. So they added the
3GS. The S simply stands for speed.
They leaned in on the speed again, but they used the same exact body as their second iPhone, the iPhone 3G, in which the reputation began of S models not meeting speed, rather the same. It became a formula of reusing the body of last year's iPhone, only having an internal upgrade, a nicer camera, but being an overall incremental improvement. And this is where people started clowning them. But at the same time, iOS in the 2010s had significant upgrades each year, so the core of Apple fans didn't care too much. So they had an S model every other year from the iPhone 4 to the iPhone 6S. And it was that S that really screwed up the model numbers, because now the generations increased by 2 for every one number. The 6S is technically the iPhone 9, but that's not actually why the iPhone 9 was deleted. In 2016, Apple did something strange. When Apple increased the iPhone number, it meant redesign, but for the iPhone 7, they reused the design of the iPhone 6 again. Everyone was like, what the flip? Name-wise, it gave iPhone 6S S vibes. But more frustrating was that the design and display-wise, the smartphone industry was really innovating and decreasing bezel sizes rapidly, while Apple literally just reused the same exact iPhone design with the biggest lip and forehead. And the cherry on top was that they removed the, at the time, essential headphone jack, and people were not feeling it at all. The public perception of Apple wasn't great and they needed to bounce back. In addition to the competition of getting ahead of Apple and Apple in dire need of a physical refresh, they were also coming up on their 10th year anniversary of the iPhone. Basically, whenever there's a 10th year anniversary of anything, just for the sake of that, it's automatically more special, people pay more attention, people get nostalgic, and they have higher expectations. So with the spotlight of the next iPhone for Apple's 10th anniversary, they needed to capitalize on that moment. Apple, knowing this, decided to finally have a dramatic redesign. Here's the thing, if they did this with the next iPhone, which was going to be the iPhone 8, it would have been too big of an upgrade just for the 8. If they did it for the 9, they would have to have another significant leap for the next year with the iPhone 10. So simply put, they wanted an iPhone 10 for the 10th anniversary. The problem was they weren't ready for it, but they did it anyways for marketing and launched the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X, which is just the 10 in Roman numerals. The Roman numerals made it seem extra special for the 10th anniversary. To me, the iPhone X really was the first Pro iPhone. Because of that, with no home button, completely new curves, slimmer bezels, the infamous notch, stainless steel, and more, they had to increase that price by a significant amount. The iPhone X was the first iPhone to be $1,000, which was $300 more than the previous year's iPhone 7. Apple knew plenty of people would easily hand their money in for the iPhone X, but for the people that couldn't afford it, they needed to have the normal price that people were used to, which is why I believe the iPhone 8 still came out. And they were right, tons of people bought the iPhone X because it was the new shiny iPhone and it was called the iPhone X, and others that couldn't afford the X bought the 8, despite it being the boringest, stalest iPhone of all time, because they literally reused the iPhone 6 again, with the exception of adding a glass back, but really the iPhone 8 is the iPhone 6S. I was confused because they didn't even name it the iPhone 7S. The iPhone 10 actually ended up being delayed, which kind of confirms the theories that it was probably rushed. So now, after the iPhone 8, naturally you would think the iPhone 9 would come out. That would mean the 11 would come out for the successor of the 10, in which the year after that, what would be the successor to the 9 with the iPhone X already out? So that's why the iPhone 9 was likely deleted. It just really didn't have a place in the way that they named their iPhones at the time. And in the next year, they came out with the iPhone XR and XS. There's a lot of theories that the XR was actually originally the iPhone 9, but because of the iPhone 10th anniversary messing up their schedule, they called it an entirely new name. And honestly, that makes sense because the iPhone XR is an upgrade from the 8, but less premium from the 10, so it fits right in. And from 2019 onward, they straightened things out with just having an iPhone 11 and 11 Pro, having a distinction from the baseline iPhone and the Pro phones, and to know that the same number means same generation phone. And they have been doing that ever since. They even got rid of the iPhone SE to now call it the 16E, so that all iPhones have the same number. So basically the iPhone 9 just never existed simply because of marketing and naming conventions. Now what's crazy is that the 20th anniversary is right around the corner in 2027, in which likely one of three things will happen. They'll either copy Samsung and follow the name of the year and call it the iPhone 27, just drop the iPhone number entirely like they did with their iPads line and just call it the iPhone, or skip the iPhone 19 again and go straight to the iPhone 20. Maybe the universe just hates the number 9. I mean, Windows skipped Windows 9 and it did them a solid because Windows 8 wasn't doing well. In conclusion, the iPhone number always indicated if you had the new iPhone or not. Nowadays, people don't really care as iPhones are so good, they all look the same, and most people don't even know which iPhone is which. We shall see what marketing stunt they go with next. Apparently an iPhone 17 Air is supposed to come out, but what did you think? How should Apple name their phones moving forward? Let me know in the comments. Peace.